Let's have the Democrats ask for an investigation on this officer and the permanent separation from his family. Not a temporary one because the parent was prosecuted on the border, but a permanent separation. Let's ask for an investigation there, but you know what? They won't have investigations. Kamala Harris, the senator from California, supports sanctuary laws. Nancy Pelosi from California, Ted Lieu, they all support this law.
Well, that was former acting ICE Director Tom Homan on Cavuto Live getting fired up over sanctuary laws for illegal immigrants. This coming in the wake of the killing of a California police officer. The suspect is an illegal immigrant. So is this going to be a major issue for 2019? The Democratic strategist Robert Patillo and Trump 2020 Advisory Board member Madison Gesiotto. Robert, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of this officer. My eldest sister is a 20-year veteran of the Charlotte Police Department. We need to do more to protect our law enforcement officers and to ensure they have the best equipment and to stop things like this from happening. But the idea that we want to get rid of sanctuary cities because of this, because of isolated incidents such as this, is just unconscionable. Sanctuary cities allow individuals who are undocumented to be able to be part of the workforce, to enroll in school, to go to social services, to go to hospitals and come out of the shadows. What this really points towards is the need for comprehensive immigration reform. And while we're doing this government shutdown over the border wall funding, let's use this as an opportunity to ensure that we are putting forward a comprehensive plan to address our immigration system.
Robert, some would say all of those things that you just ticked off, that you just named, become a very enticing red carpet, and it actually entices folks to come into this country illegally, knowing that if they can make it to one of these sanctuary areas, you know, they've got a mate.
Well, remember, we started having sanctuary cities around 1985. We had issues of illegal immigration long before that. What we're doing is trying to have a humane system in place where people don't have to live on the streets, live in the shadows, fear ICE raids, not participate with police. Every statistical study shows that sanctuary cities do not increase crime and often decrease crime in those communities by allowing individuals who are undocumented to work with law enforcement, to root out gangs, criminals, and the people who need to be deported out of this country while working towards regulating their status within the nation.
Right. You know, Madison, of course, some would say that those laws actually invite the very gangs that Robert said they're trying to root out in the first place.
You know, Charles, I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed, specifically with the Democrats right now. We need border security. Of course, we need comprehensive immigration reform, but that's only one part of this puzzle. It's time to end sanctuary cities. Sanctuary city laws in places like California prevent police officers from communicating with ICE about known and wanted felons. We could have prevented a death like Officer Singh's death. We now have a family without a father, without a husband, without a son, without a brother. A completely preventable situation. We need to secure our border. We need comprehensive immigration reform, and we need to end sanctuary cities.
You know, Robert, you mentioned your sister. With someone who has a family member that in law enforcement, are you a little frustrated that I didn't see any California really big local law politicians come out and say anything about Officer Singh's death? And I find that to be extraordinarily frustrating, you know, because this is a man who died in the line of duty.
Well, we as a nation, we do very little to support law enforcement. They often have antiquated equipment. They don't have adequate training. They don't have adequate reinforcement.
Yeah, but to acknowledge that he died in the line of duty, it feels like they didn't do it because it involved their pet project here. An illegal immigrant did this or is at least accused of doing this. And I just find it appalling that they couldn't separate the two.
Well, I find it appalling they haven't commented on this situation, but I don't know their motives and their reasons why to do that. But let's remember, we had comprehensive immigration reform passed through the Senate in 2013. It was blocked by House Republicans. Let's bring that legislation back. We have a new president. We have a new Congress. We have a new Senate. We have the details and kinks worked out in 2013. Let's push that law. Let's get it passed. Let's get it signed by the president, and let's stop this from happening in the future. I think we all agree that we have to reform the immigration system.
Madison, considering a new composition of Washington, D.C., starting on Thursday, what do you see? What can be done with respect to immigration laws, the wall, sanctuary cities, DACA, the whole thing?
Well, there's a lot that can be done, but my concern is that it won't get done because we have people like Nancy Pelosi who are on vacation in Hawaii and don't even take the time to comment on this. This is a legal immigrant who was murdered, an officer in her own state. I mean, we have Democrats that I don't think seem to be focused on the right thing because of their hate for President Trump, when in reality, 5 years ago, many of them supported increased border security. Many of them supported doubling the length of the fencing. Many of them supported this for years, for decades, long before President Trump was in office. And now that President Trump's in office, office and has been pushing for this, they seem to be flip-flopping on the issue. And so I'm very concerned about whether they will come forward and support what's right on this issue to protect Americans, to protect legal immigrants like Officer Singh and other officers that could end up in the same situation. Yeah,
juxtaposing the effort that Singh went through to become a legal citizen and then join the law enforcement against someone who was illegal and became a criminal is just so heartbreaking. Robert, Madison, thank you both very much. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Charles. Happy New Year.
The field now starting to grow. We know.